Okay, I get a free little vlog here. Look at this little rubber ducky thingy. I've one of the concerts I was at the very end of the show when he was closing the set out, we're out at a national park on a beach, real nice park, actually a really nice park. The bathrooms were nice, well maintained, and all. It was a nice park. They had shit in the water, like toys in the like structures in the water to play on. It was fresh water and it was had a manicured beach. I got frustrated when I went down to the beach this year. The one time I went down, there was a seaweed bloom and it was fucking nightmarish. Like it tangle you up and stuff. Ugh. But he, at the very end, he's like, "All right, everyone, get out your phones, look on the ground, and make sure you pick up a piece of trash on the way out." And there was a girl next to me, one of the ones that said that I knew wanted to fuck me. Not joking, but she was a big fat ugly bitch. Like, don't worry about it. But the one with the trucker hat that I suspected might be a MAGA. Yeah, I'm good. I'm not that desperate. But she had her light on next to me and pointed at one, like, "Oh, there's one for you." So I picked it up and said, "You know what? I think I'll keep this." This is what it was. And it's such an odd object. I've got a little spot of personal effects in here, very little. I used to have, on my days before the service dog days, when I was on the tracks after the fallout from the felony, our first felony, and ended up homeless in LA, I was on the tracks and I had like a protein shake tub, one of those big tubs for muscle milk or something, and inside of it I put some actual keepsakes that I had. That was years ago. Now I've only got a few. Just a couple. I'm not very sentimental, but I guess once in a while you gotta try. Like, I had some shit from Vegas in there. The one picture I had of my parents, and like the richest sugar daddy I had, the one that got me the collection of watches. If Mel's watching, she'll know what I'm talking about here. I kept one of those, and that's actually where the picture of my parents was too, and I kept it through all the times. Like when there was a collection of them, and Macy's fucking, and I returned most of them, but like just out of respect, I kept one, the one I liked the most, Black Fossil. And it was nice too. And I'm like, all right, this is a jewelry grade watch someone bought, and I knew how much money it was worth because they had the receipts in them and shit, and hundreds of dollars each. And I returned two of the others, got the money, got like $400 and something out of two of them, and then I kept the last one to the bitter end, and it got stolen when I was in jail in Torrance when I lost the first service dog. But so that's like 6 years later. I almost never wore it either. I don't wear a lot of jewelry, but I was proud. Like back in the day, that's in the early days. That was only 3 years after I got ran down by the car. Sometimes people are so hard on me. Sometimes it's good to remember that there was a time in my life when people would pay for the privilege of sucking my cock. Not being facetious at all. And I got money rivaling my most expensive hookers from back in the day when I was real young and didn't know any better. Like I got about what I spent. There was one hooker I did that I spent more on than what I would get, but that's it. Just all the rest are much less. We're talking $200 or $300 a whack here. And I got my money's worth. So I lost my virginity. And then just the ultimate irony of that, of going from one pole to the other, like circumnavigating the whole, boy. And of course, not only the accident fucked me off bad, yeah, but honestly, there was like a 3-year period before that where I was only a whore, and I wouldn't socialize, and that was the rich times. Everyone forgets. Like, everyone knew this, but the stalkers have destroyed all my projects over and over and shit. Like, everyone knew this. I was bougie as fuck. I wasn't like the people. There's a certain group of people hating on my service dog thing. You know, oh, you shouldn't be homeless and have a service dog. I wasn't. I was balling, nigga. I fucking was starting to puff up a little bit because life was too easy. Like, and there was a time period in LA where I did hotels. I'm not even paying by the week and shit in the hotels. But the office period was when shit really kicked off. And I had, rent was $350 a month. So I just, and the gym was right up the street. So for a whole year, I just balled out of control. And I've been doing before that was the hotels and shit. And there was a break between the hotels and the office where I saved up a bunch of money and then made it all happen, hard style. And then I got the service dog, and when the zoning enforcement people got on my landlord about having someone living in an office, which you're not supposed to do, which is fucking lame. I had to free my ass. And I was pretty low pro, like, but I had so much money because I had the fucking dog and my head was calm, and I still would hoe a little bit on the side, and I still had some street ties, and I just moved to an apartment. Okay, and then it was I had some roommates, but I had a whole room, private room. I shared a bathroom with one girl, 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, and the living room was made into a room, the biggest room actually, and I had that. I had a couch, and I had like a parlor in my room. I had a leather couch. When I hit by the car and spent 1 more month there because I had a deposit, I had some crackhead dude that I'd met off the streets move in with me and rent the couch for $10 a day, and also like do my chores and to help take care of me. So literally with the first service dog, I was never homeless with the first service dog at all. It was office, it's a private apartment, and I was doing well that whole time. Like, I got rollerblades, I had the Eurobike, the crazy expensive, still have not had another Eurobike like that, a fucking road bike. The Rave Ultra GT from the 90s. People will try to buy it out from under me. OG niggas at like literally the Compton Department of Social Services, the food stamp office. They would try to buy it out. I'm like, I'll give you $300 for that right now. I'm like, no. Nah, I know. Not once, not twice. 50 people tried to buy that fucking bike off me. I'm like, no, I loved it. And I was getting in such good shape, and my shoulders weren't broken because I wasn't homeless and I didn't have to carry much gear. So I carried the dog in a chest carrier, my basic sign, and some personal gear, a jug of water, wallet stuff. That's all I carried, and I flitted around everywhere on the bike. It was fucking awesome. Then I got ran down by a car, shattered my shoulder, and life's a bitch. Then you die. But there was zero homelessness all the way through the first dog. And 1 month, almost exactly, it was June 28th, 2013, I got hit. So, and I'd already paid a deposit, so I gave him notice a few days before the first, so technically I gave proper notice. I'm like, eat the deposit. And I made sure it was clean. I'm not sure it fucked up so a little, but I had my shit out on the date and went to the streets. So, literally August 1st, 2013 to now, I've been homeless. That's 9 years, a bit more than 9 years. We're in the 10th year. We'll be on a full decade. Exactly August 1st of next year. Oh, and I left in my TV too because I was too fucked up to take it. I had a 32-inch tube TV. I also had Xbox and computer and flat screens and everything the fuck else, multiple phones. I saved all that. Some old lady let me keep it in her house that knew me and the dog and saw the whole thing happen. And she helped me move around a couple of times. I tried some shelters in that time period. but they were all fucking crackheaded out, and I couldn't take it. They were going to be robbing me and shit. So then the days of the generator and camp, oh boy. The old times. So it's a good thing I'm driving now, son, because my shit is fucked up. It's a good thing I got the 512 phone. I'll be filling it full of data. My stalkers have to watch every minute of it. That's honestly, I did that. I burned them again the other day. I put like an hour video out that was wasted shot. That's just to piss off the stalkers, because they have to watch every second. They're obsessed, and they can't be doing their QAnon conspiracy shit if they are watching me live my best life. I need to hurry up and get on the Lou thing. I need to sue Lou. And that'll send a message to everyone. And they all turn on each other all the time, so once people get that in their head, like, oh, if I betray anybody and they turn on me and dox me to wood, then he's going to come at me. If I win one, the criminal shit would scare them all off like cockroach, like stepping on one cockroach and the rest scattering, I'm sure. But the lawsuit might do it too, except for the richer ones, like Jack Manny. I have a yacht I park off Santa Monica and I feel like it. Maybe not so much. But old troll, think about like Colleen Taylor. She complained at one point about not getting being able to get her water heater repaired. Pretty sure if she's under the impression she could get sued, she fucking wouldn't have spent years bothering me. I think she's put down her torch now. I'm not sure. That was an OG, one of the earliest TBN members. And I haven't let myself think about it at all, but I could really get small claims courts up to 10 grand, and I think going the full 10 grand and suing Lou might be pretty good. The new flags on the election video, that particularly pissed me off. We've got because the police not doing shit, that's one thing, but there is civil liability there, and a judge might get mad at you for directly interfering with the electoral process, essentially committing election fraud, which is also ironic because now the Trump tards are participating in election fraud. I got disenfranchised, they're fucking with me and my ability to vote, and I had evidence of that, and I was trying to pursue that. I had intentions of coming back to it, especially if Trump runs again. I must. And all this, well, I'm going to do a dozen videos on it if that happens, and make I have hours and hours and hours and hours of footage of me fighting with the election office, but they false flagged it in their bullshit. Not sex stuff this time, at least, but they're saying it's harassment, bullying for me to talk to a government employee trying to get registered to vote. Just the audacity. I live in the Ninth Circuit. The Ninth Circuit has specifically ruled on the citizenry's First Amendment right to record your conversation with government officials. When I'm talking in a one-on-one conversation to the elections office about my voter registration, I have a First Amendment protected right to record that. Now, a private company like YouTube doesn't have to host a video, but it's a manipulation of their system to claim that is harassing or bullying someone when I am clearly just going about my life. That's the process for me to get registered. I think they're being dirty. They are being dirty. And I was fighting about it. And I'm right too, by the way. I rent a business center, not a P.O. box, and they were saying it's a P.O. box. The business center has more rights, like a key to the door, for one, and power outlets and a desk and a concierge, and it's more than that, okay? And a personal friends with the guy. Like I knew this is the same dude I told you a long time ago that I wrote a letter from jail. And he said he'd give me money just to help me out. Give some ramen noodles. Dead serious. But there are other things, like computers in particular. You can't ship a lot of stuff to P.O. boxes. Not a P.O. box, it's a business center. And it's on my fucking government ID. It's on my DMV, then and now. I've got my new license and everything. I can fucking show it. Oh, and it's on my business cards too. And I read the law. It was hard to get it out of them. Eventually I got the law. And they said that you can't have a P.O. box just for the purpose of registering. But it's not just for the purpose of registering. It's my actual address. I live in that area. That's my home area. It is not for the purpose of registering. It's for everything that I do. Every letter I get, every package I get, the bond. I got the bond today. I already shut up a lot of it. It's right there. That's my address. If like of all things, like where do you send a check when you owe me money? This isn't like Dr. Oz that has an old family home over there, but he really lives over here. And no, this is not just clearly my home area, but it's the only one I have. There is no other area that I frequent, this is clearly my home area. That is absolutely clearly my home. That's where my government aid goes. Like my food stamp letters go there. Period. That's my home area. It's completely illogical to deny me my right to vote, except they know someone doing this is poor, and poor people tend to vote Democrat, and this is Orange County, California. It's pure voter suppression. It's election fraud, okay? And I've had stalkers fuck with me about saying I'd vote for Trump. In California, that can be just a protest vote, because I know in detail how election systems work. It would mean nothing for me to do that. But any other candidate where there's an actual possibility of having an effect, I wouldn't negatively affect the election. But showing displeasure with the Democratic Party and how badly they fucked up, like screwing Bernie Sanders over, that's important. And I'm not sure I'd really do it anyway. I might vote Donald Duck. But you got to check your state and your laws. It varies. But here, there was no question Biden was winning and getting all the electoral college votes for California. No question, by a substantial margin. And I'm not thrilled with the Democrats. That's the damn thing about me. I don't understand. That's the lesser of two evils to me, distinctly. And I know a lot about politics. I mean, actual theory behind it, and history of it. I study this type of thing. I learned about it in school. I've always been interested in it. It took me only a few seconds to decide my college major, because one, they said political science was a good major if you're going to go to law school, pre-law. Two, and I had that intention. Two, I've always been curious on how shit works. Okay, but when I was 18, I didn't know nearly as much about the world as I do now. Now I know quite a damn bit. Okay, I was being a fool, the path I went down, but I know some shit. Okay, I'm obviously too mentally ill to work at a suit and tie job and have other people depend on me. But I'm wicked smart and can pass tests, especially choice test. And I can argue. My mother always said, "You're a good arguer. You should be a lawyer." I thought it was a good idea. I just didn't know how the world worked. And just being clever and being able to remember about, like, Magic the Gathering makes a good example. I'm a nerd. I like that shit. Rules and detail thing. I like that. And it has its uses, but I ain't gonna be a suit and tie guy. Honestly, one of the lectures you get as a pre-law student, though, a Juris Doctorate, get this. Only 50% of Juris Doctorates actually become lawyers. The other half are pretty much doing what I just said, learning how shit works, so they know. So that they'll work in, like they could have been a business major instead, but they get a Juris Doctorate, even though they're going to be in, or a politician is another great example. They're not going to be a lawyer, but knowing law is great for big business and public business and public service. So. All right, well, I got to get back to doing stuff. I'm hiding from the sun. It's been so hot. I didn't have a chance to train this summer. I was in jail, but you always get that bug in the spring to lose weight, get out of shape for the beach and shut, and prepare yourself for the heat. The day I went to jail out there, I had my shirt off, took a brutal, hard day of sun. Like, I didn't get that little trim up, and I'm rocking a good weight. I'm 275 right now. It's not and I got a lot of muscle on me. And I've been eating healthier. I've cut back on beer a lot. So I had to give away my beer at the festival. I just bought one case, 24 beers, and I figured surely, and light beer, Tubo de Lo is 4.4%. That's like 12% less than Budweiser. I ended up giving it away, which was another cool thing. I got a good vibe from people helping each other. I had to ask for like a mallet to mess with my shit. But also it went the other way. I gotta get back to doing stuff.